Hello and welcome to my patch notes rundown for the 31st of October. This week's update introduces some of the early game jam ideas that are meant to focus on more quality of life updates. There are no real significant changes, however some are questionable in their direction. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Reduce the animation time for entering the lumberyard through the fence, as well as removing a tree within the area. I'm not a fan of this change as it simplifies the method of getting to the hard clue scroll location. Obviously this singular change is not that big of a deal, but the philosophy of changing the terrain to create a clear path to objectives is something I disagree with, specifically with clue scroll locations. In my opinion, it's part of the fun of doing clue scrolls, figuring out how to move, how to position, and how to use your mobility abilities. Also, a better question, who asked for this change? It is now possible to teleport away when standing near the start of the Heifen agility course. A warning message has been added for when your blessed flask has nearly run out at 10, 5 and 1 doses remaining. Added an option in Anachronia Basecamp management to assign 5, 10 or all workers to a resource, in addition to the existing X amount option. Added a do not ask me again option to the confirmation box when entering or exiting the Dream of Aya. Added an option to contribute all resources to skilling stations in the Dream of Aya. Portable obelisks from the Wilderness Flash events can now be alchemized for 500k. I think this sets a lazy precedent for future content. Does this mean if they introduce a new item that is also relatively rare and its use flops in demand, they'll just turn to give it a desirable alch value rather than reworking the function? If players are opted into PvP, the Wilderness Warning interface will now open upon attempting to teleport to the Wilderness Lodestone. The guaranteed critical hit effect from Greater Fury is no longer consumed by bleed abilities. This is a good change even though it doesn't really affect any rotations, but it never made any sense that the critical hit buff was used up when using something that can't even crit. Fix the Wild Magic abilities tooltip to display the correct damage percentage. Fix an issue where the weaken and enfeeble debuffs were not being applied correctly when active at the same time. Now only the most powerful debuff will be applied. This is still a little confusing since both the debuffs are apparent on the target when this is the case, giving players the indication that they actually stack. I think the more powerful debuff should simply override the lesser one. Change the description or power burst of acceleration to be more descriptive. The limited treasure hunter key purchase through the Oddman store is going to be reduced from a daily 60 down to 10 with the next week's game update. There's so many layers to this that I really don't like, and I don't want to go into too much detail to prevent this video from being 30 minutes long. I just hate the fact that they're introducing tradable forms of FOMO to Treasure Hunter, especially ones that resemble iconic discontinued items. It creates a real form of gambling where people use real life currency to try and make money through Treasure Hunter rather than selling bonds where there is no game of chance. It also gives players a sense of gambling through buying bonds with GP to try and make money back through Treasure Hunter. Having Treasure Hunter keys be purchasable on a daily limit is already bad enough, but to reduce that amount to further empower MTX purchasers really makes their greed transparent. And that's it for this week's patch notes. This is a pretty underwhelming ninja strike. Most of the changes were definitely good, but some set a worrying precedent, like the removal of clue scroll obstacles, applying a high alch value to new rare functional items, and of course the most controversial, the increasing predatory updates to Treasure Hunter. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you for watching and take care.